Hello, this is Steve with the Valparaiso Parks Horticulture Crew. We're at the Horticulture Center where we grow stuff. Let's go take a look. We're standing in what we call in our world the head house. The head house is attached to the greenhouses. Some places have several greenhouses attached to a head house. The head house is where work happens. Greenhouses are where growing happens. I am standing in what we call our seed room or our germination room. These shelves are where trays of seedlings get started. We would either start them in an open tray or a tray with cells. About a third of what we grow from seed. And in this little room, we can do hundreds and hundreds of seedlings. It's its own little climate-controlled space. It is the first space that we use in the season. Once they're grown to a certain point, once they've got, say, 2 real leaves on them, then they wind up out in the prop house, and then they'll be out there for a couple weeks. We're standing in what we call our propagation house. This is our smaller of our 2 greenhouses. This is where plugs and seedlings get grown out a little bit before they move on to the main house. For example, these are some somewhat oversized plugs, and this is a tray of seedlings. Ordinarily, this room would be completely full of little stuff like this. Small plants like this will be in here until they get transplanted into finished flats, and most of the finished flats go out into the main greenhouse. We are in our main greenhouse. This is 144 feet long. This is where we grow all of the summer material. These plants have been here basically 6 weeks, and we are going to start using them next week. That's kind of a huge success. The faster you grow, the better you are. Because if you leave them in here too long, they get buggy. So you want to grow them, get them out. This doesn't just happen. It takes people who know what they're doing, who understand a little bit about water chemistry, a little bit about agronomy or soil chemistry. And fortunately, we have those people working here. Paul does a really good job on this building, and everyone out that takes care of this stuff once it hits the city, they're really on their game. They know what's going on. But look at this. Look how dark green these are. This is what you want. And short. That's what you want. So there's roughly 1,100 flats in here, and there's probably 500-600 6-inch pots. All this stuff is grown in-house. This is all going to appear shortly out on the streets and in the parks. Everything from Central Park all the way up to Lakewood Park. We also have smaller structures. We have hoop houses. This one is full of plant material that's going to the parking garage right now. And later this year, we'll be growing chrysanthemums in there. That one is generally where we keep potted nursery stock. Both of these houses, plus another one that's on the property, are all recycled. These were our old greenhouses at our old facility, and now they are essentially shade structures. We also do growing outdoors. In fact, growing plants in a greenhouse for late in the year is not a good idea. So that's why we have the hoop houses. And we have this table, which is where we grow 500 some chrysanthemums. Everything's on drip irrigation. We start from little itty bitties, just like we do in the greenhouse, and we grow them on for a couple months, and then they wind up downtown in October. Here we are building a new shade structure because we've already outgrown this place. Where 500 some mums was enough, it's not. So we are putting chrysanthemums where we used to grow kale, and we are building this so we can grow kale. This entire structure will be wrapped in a shade cloth so that the deer can't eat it. It is a real challenge to grow fall material outside when you have a heavy deer population, and we also have cabbage moths. Anyone who vegetable gardens knows about cabbage moths. Well, they will eat our kale. So this entire building is going to be wrapped in shade cloth so they can't get in there. So that's a quick tour of the Horticulture Center and the buildings we have available to grow stuff. You'll be seeing the plant material out in the town, and we will always be here growing more because we always have to be 6 months ahead.